According to research, 90% of children by the age of 4 would understand the concept of lying. Now, on average, 60% of adults will lie at least once in a 10-minute conversation. The average number of lies told per adult is 4 per day. Men apparently tend to lie twice as much as women on any given day. Now, there are 2 areas that people lie about most that dwarfs any other category: the resumes and dating sites. But what if there was a way for you to read someone like an open book? A method to identify your true friends and foe. A way to detect someone's authenticity or hidden agendas. Hey guys, Joey Yap here, and welcome to day 2. Wow, I can see so many of you are logging in right now. Now, if you're here with me, joining me for our Face Reading Summit for the very first time, please click on or type a me on the chat roll right now so that me and my team know that you are here. That's right, please do it right now. That's good, that's good. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, as you know, this is our first ever Face Reading Summit, and if you were here yesterday, thank you for joining us again. If you're here for the first time, you are in for a roller coaster ride on, all things regarding face reading. Now, just so you know, this is a live cast for the next couple of days, every day at 8:30 p.m. GMT +8. It's going to be about 2 to 3 hours non-stop. We are going to talk about face reading. And of course, you will learn, almost the entire system about understanding how to read people. Now, one of the common questions that we got yesterday is that people say, hey, isn't this a discrimination? No, it's not. It's for you to understand people and know how to interact with them. Because a lot of times it is unspoken language that matters. Most people don't say whatever, or be able to articulate whatever they mean. But if you understand their nature just by, looking at certain features, you will be able to understand people better and help them better. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to influence them positively. So that's the goal. It's not for you to discriminate anybody, okay? Now, remember, during this entire session, me and my team here, we're going to give a lot of information. Make sure you take lots of notes, all right? Because we'll be posting questions and we will be giving away prizes at the end of the core training. So make sure that you got the notes right, and then you post the correct questions, and then we're going to be giving away some very interesting prizes that some of them are over $1,000. That's right, $1,000, okay? Now remember, we have core training, so every day we have a core training that's like the lecture part where you can learn, important key concepts about face reading, and then there will be deep dive sessions, and then further anchor trainings, okay, by the team, and there'll be expert panel speakers, of course, there will be quizzes and then giveaways, and more importantly, as you can see right now, the chat roll. This is live, okay? Live chat roll happening right now. The team and I, and whoever is participating right now will be answering you. And yes, this entire summit is for free, so you can share this with all your friends. Remember, leave a comment right now. Leave a comment at the chat roll right now because we are looking at it, and all my team are really excited to have you here. And so check back to this site regularly. Remember, just in case you got logged out accidentally or you missed out on something, the URL is joeyup.com/FR Summit. It's joeyup.com/FR Summit. And last but not least, please enjoy the entire summit and share this with all your friends. Hi, I'm Joey Yap, creator of the Face Reading Academy. This training is about you and how you can win some of the most important battles in your life. It's about creating the breakthrough in your most important relationships by learning how to read faces and understanding how people work and think. It's really easier than you think. Learning to speed read facial features and using them to predict people's emotions and thinking pattern is really an attainable skill. Now, this training is about helping you get unstuck, getting help from the people that matter. It's about mastering human relationships and ultimately becoming one who can master his or her own destiny. Now, what would this mean if you can become better at captivating, persuading, and influencing other people? What would it mean to your business if you can truly understand your customers, clients, co-workers from their perspective just by reading features on their faces? Now, how would this transform your personal relationships if you could build more trust and understand your partner from their perspective? Welcome to my new training series, Winning with People Using the Art of Face Reading. In the last 20 years, I've built several high-growth, multi-million-dollar businesses without the benefit of a business degree or an MBA. Armed with only knowledge on Chinese metaphysics. In my journey, I've had the privilege of working with some of the world's most prominent business leaders and Asian business tycoons. I'm very blessed to call some of them my personal friends and business mentors today. I've published to date 179 books in subjects like Feng Shui, Qi Dunjia, and of course, the art of face reading. Each year, I speak to more than 50,000 people at my live events held in major cities around the world. I have my own TV show and my work is also featured on major networks such as CNN, BBC, and Bloomberg. And as the chief consultant to some of the world's most iconic developments in the United Kingdom, Australia, Vietnam, Singapore, and Malaysia, I get to meet people from all walks of life. And nothing amazes me more than what I'm about to share with you in this training video. It's also one of the key reasons how I've been fortunate to achieve personal and professional success at a rather early age in life. And with the skills that I've learned, I've managed to sustain continuous growth, building my business empire to what it is today. Now, all this is not because I'm such a genius or I have superior luck or gifted in some ways. No, contrary to that, I've got a very ordinary set of Bazi astrology chart. I was only an average student in school and most of my friends and family never really expected much from me to begin with. The success that I enjoy today is all because I've had the help from the kindness of other people. So I guess my lucky break was that one of the first metaphysics systems that I've ever learned, way before I've mastered Chinese astrology and Feng Shui and Qi of course, was face reading. Because face reading allowed me to understand people and how to work with people. When I discovered the features that govern human behavior, my influence, impact, and income has significantly increased. The art of face reading holds the code to human behavior, and I have the means to help you crack this code. And I'm about to share them with you in this training program. So come with me.
I love face reading because it helps me to find information about other people and also reassure me that the information that I've learned has been very useful. For me, it's better to be more aware of others and other people's characteristics, and it's been very useful for me to choose, such as possibly in a business deal or a friendship, or the most important part is for me to understand the other person, and it's not completely their fault, but it's just the characters that they actually are born with, and so it made me more aware of how and why they are the way they are. Yeah.
If you haven't watched episode 1, you can access it at this link. It's joeyup.com/winning. Now, ensure that you watch it before continuing this part. This is a 4-part training series. It is free, but only for a limited time, meaning it won't be here forever. I will take it down a few days after all 4 is released. Now, the best way to benefit from this training is to learn it as if you are going to teach it. So click on the share button right now and find a training buddy. So go ahead, do it right now. Finally, remember to download the notes that come with every training episode. You know, once in a while we get distracted halfway through a video and all, but the best thing is this, at least you have the notes that you can open up at a convenient time and read through what you've missed. Now, I'm really excited about today's lesson, so let's begin. I'd like to begin today's lesson by asking you a question. What is your definition of success? For me, my definitions of success have changed a lot over the years. Today, my definition of success is I feel successful when the people that I love me back. Now, this is something that even money cannot buy, and it does require, once again, the help of other people. Other people is one of the main sources of our joy, fulfillment, and happiness in life. I know, for the highly spiritual evolved amongst you guys, you find that happiness comes from within, and you certainly don't need anyone out there. But for the rest of us mere mortals, we actually need other people. So, for example, if we are teachers, we need students. If we're students, we need mentors. If we are business owners, we need to hire talent. And if we are lonely, we need someone to love us. And the list goes on and on and on and on. On the flip side, the same is also true for all our problems in our lives. Think about it. All our agony, stress, and pain also comes from other people. While it is true that no one can, make you happy or unhappy except for yourself, and by that I mean you certainly don't need someone's permission to either be happy or sad, but when we are unable to influence or persuade or manage other people, we interpret other people's motives incorrectly, we inadvertently cause problems or hurt. Now, this causes pain and frustration. Problems are created when we misread other people's intentions, when we misunderstand what others really want or feel. Now, research has shown that in a 15-minute conversation, you are likely to be lied to at least 3 or 4 times. You might not even realize that the people in our life may be deceitful or perhaps economical with the truth. Now, a great percentage of people distort the truth and hide their true feelings regularly at work and at home. It is time you get the tools to better arm yourself so that you could tell the truth from fiction. I'm going to show you how to spot some of these hidden emotions in people you interact with so that you could increase the honesty in your interaction. Now, it's not so much about body language, but more so with certain facial features and how these features are deployed during a conversation or interaction with people. Now, sometimes people distort the truth not to harm you or to deceive you, okay? But merely they do that because they want to protect themselves. But not to worry, you'll learn some of these codes soon enough. Learning how to judge people correctly is in fact one of the most important benefits of face reading. In fact, I was told by a lot of my business mentors, and one of the so-called gifts that they have is that acumen, that ability to be able to size up someone. I don't know about you, but in my lifetime as a business owner and as an entrepreneur coming up, meeting with a lot of so-called business people, I think their true gift is not just about recognizing opportunities and hard work and perseverance. One of the common denominators of all the successful guys that I know, they are very good with people. And now, not that they know face reading or they know how to do this art correctly, but somehow they are able to judge people correctly. Since I'm not gifted in that department, that's why I went and learned face reading, right? So apparently, some people could be unconsciously competent, and subsequently over the years through experience, they subsequently turn their unconscious competence into competence. I think a lot of us, especially the intuitive among us, might already have that ability to size up somebody. Well, when you learn face reading, you're just putting context to your intuition. You will be able to, put in a structure so that you can actually recognize some reliable features that could consistently tell you the same tale. One of the common advice that I get from a lot of these successful individuals is that they tell you that you need to be able to tell if someone is reliable or not. If you want to succeed in life, you gotta be able to, judge someone correctly so that you're able to work with that somebody. Okay, so where do you start? Well, in face reading classics, we start with the 5 offices. So the 5 offices are nothing more than the major 5 features on a person's face, right? 5 elements, 5 features. And these 5 offices are the eyes, the ears, the eyebrows, the nose, and the mouth. Okay, so remember, these are the 5 main features. Now, what are officers? Officers means they are in charge of something. So in the ancient text, the officers are, the first one is called the Samtingkun. Samtingkun is an officer in charge of receiving, deciphering, and analyzing information. Okay, and the eyes is known as Kamchakun, the vigilant officer. Okay, in an exam, someone is watching, looking at you whether you're cheating or not. That vigilance, all right, the ability to observe and see. And the nose is called Sampunkun, the chief judge, being able to judge right and wrong. And the eyebrows is called Pou Sao Gong, or the insurance officer, or you may say life extension officer. And finally, the mouth is called Choi Nak Kun. Some people call it the person in charge of cash, or the external affairs officer. So it can be translated to simple English. The eyes represents courage, the ears represents honor and nobility, the nose represents judgment. The eyebrows represents temperance, and the mouth represents humanity. Let me explain in detail what they mean and how you can read these 5 features. What I'm giving you now is the context to these 5 features. When you look at these 5 features, you generally can sort of size up whether this someone is someone you could rely on, or someone you could have in your team, or someone you could work with or help each other, so that you both can actually excel and achieve the goals that you want. It's a win-win situation. The eyes is one of the easiest features that we look at when it comes to face reading, because you gotta have eye contact in the first place, right? So the eyes in face reading governs one's courage. It also governs one's bravery, perseverance, zest for life, and more importantly, it governs kindness. How do you know someone has the courage, the capacity, the drive to succeed? You look in the eyes. The difference between Chinese art of face reading and possibly, other forms of body language and all that, there's a lot of attention paid to this concept called the spirit of the eye. Okay, the spirit of the eye is when you look at the eye, electrifying eyes, okay? Energy that comes from the eyes. So that sort of energy is called, in Chinese, called sun. Okay, sun, you can translate as spirit, or you can translate as energy form. When you look at people who are happy, with people with a lot of energy, people who are succeeding in life, the eyes will tell you. Now, maybe they haven't got success yet, but they first need to be in order for them to do before they could have. So they first need to be this being. So it all starts from the eyes. The eyes will not lie. Someone can just give you a fake smile, but the eyes may not be smiling. So whether someone is actually brave or scared, the eyes will tell you. Whether someone is in pain, right? Someone is in pain deep down inside, who have, hidden issues and problems, or maybe they don't agree with what you're saying, it's also in the eyes. Whether someone could take hardship, and thrive, that perseverance is also in the eyes. So what do you actually look for in the eyes? Well, the first step is the eyes is divided to the pupil and of course the white, right? The 2 whites on the side, right? So the type of eyes you want to look at is, we call it the 2 white eye. It means the white is here and here. Okay, you don't want to go and see the eyes where there's 4 white, where the pupil is so small, and then there's 4 white around the corner. Now that means the pupil is really small. Eyes represent zest. When you have eyes like that, the pupil is small, it becomes overzealous, right? So sometimes it can mean, going overboard, getting something done, sometimes even stepping on other people. That's why when you see the eyes have 3 white eye, when the eyes, you have the white here and here and here, we call it the 3 white, as you can see in the diagram right now. 3 white eye, normally it means success, but usually, they have friends in high places, but they also have a lot of enemies in low places. That's what it means, okay? Now, the most important thing I think the eyes will show is kindness. There is strength in kindness. A simple smile, but a smile without the eye smiling, is not true kindness. A kind word, for example, or even an arm or a shoulder can change someone's life for the better. Thereby, the eyes itself is true power. Now, the mouth, the next important feature, because we use the mouth besides the eyes all the time. And in ancient texts, as you now know, the mouth represents the external affairs, or maybe the communications officer. Now, what it really means in plain English, it represents humanity, the capacity to love, be loved, to translate your intentions to others, to communicate, to influence. So in other words, it also governs social intelligence. I think there's a lot of importance here, because people can have work intelligence, they could have a degree in this, and they could be really smart in their books, but without social intelligence, the ability to talk, communicate, persuade, influence, then they're probably missing a big chunk of success in life, or they probably couldn't get what they want, and then they say, people don't listen to me. Well, people don't listen to you because maybe you're not so tactful, right? So the mouth will show. So what do you look for in the mouth? Now, around the mouth, there's this thing called the borders. Okay, what are the borders? It's around the lips. There's a border. Now, some people don't have border, especially on the sides. There's almost like it blends to the lips. When there is no border, that means sometimes these people are not so tactful when it comes to speech. Okay, they may be kind because their eyes show kindness, but then they say things that are harsh. Now, some people you may say, this person is saying this stuff to me, I don't like that person. But you need to also look, the eyes show kindness, but the mouth, there is no tact in that. Now, a person who is pretty much good in speech or ability to, say the right thing at the right time, you need to look at the corners of this mouth. We call it the flags of a mouth, the flags. The flags are like two pointy things. Some of us have it, some of us don't have it. But the moment your mouth has flags, that means you can be trained to have really great linguistic or social intelligence or speech skills. Okay, now that just not about being able to speak different languages. It's being able to say the things that matter and influence other people. To be able to translate and articulate the love or be able to influence others with the right type of emotions. And of course, mouth also represents one's compassion. So it's seen by the size of the lips. If your upper lips and lower lips are balanced, generally you're someone that's quite compassionate. Upper and lower lip. Balance doesn't mean that one is thicker than the other. It could be both thin or both thick, but it cannot be one thick, one thin. If you one thick, one thin, then there's a little bit of a lopsidedness when it comes to compassion. Okay, so this is something that you could observe on the person's mouth. So this is a simple way to look at the mouth features.
Next thing, it's very practical because when you apply it also in a relationship, in business, it helps you get the truth only to one look in the face. My perception of face reading, it's like he gives you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Winning with people to me means to have quality relationship and make win-win situation business because you have leverage. So I think this is how face reading can help you.
He makes very complex subjects very easily understandable and, more importantly, easily applicable. Therefore, it makes it very, very efficient from zero level to the very highly advanced practitioner level.
Although we come here so many years, but every year I will gain some new knowledge. Datuk will never disappoint us. All the info is very useful. Yeah.
Now, the years. The years represents honor, respect, and nobility. It's called Sao Ting Kun. In Chinese, that means the ability to receive and interpret information. Now, you see, sometimes we hear, but we probably don't listen. So the year shape also tells us how we interpret information or receive information. Now, some people say, no, it's what I see that judge everything. Well, sometimes also what you hear or is what is in between the years, okay? The interpretation, the process of information. Now, in Chinese face reading, it represents honor, respect, and nobility. Now, first, let me explain what perspective honor means here. Honor is about respecting those over yourself and perhaps acting in a way that is deserving of respect, and especially from those who are under you or working with you or for you, okay? So when it comes to honor, it's usually about reputation and the teamwork or alliance, partnerships that you have earned from those you serve and those who serve you. That's why the years have also got something to do with respect. That's why you see people with large and fleshy and slightly reddish ears come from noble family. You see a lot of people from royalty, especially from a lot of high-profile royalties. You will see usually they have large ears, okay? So there is a respect, right? And also the ears represents the respect that you show others. And it is also a reflection of your self-respect. That doesn't mean that you have to agree with everybody else just to earn their respect or get their respect. It simply means whether you value yourself enough to give others the respect. So if you look at the years itself, is divided to 3 sections like this, okay? The upper region of the years represents one's intellectual pursuit. So if a person's years are like this, more developed on the top, this person seeks intellectual pursuits or gratification. So they like to read, they like to study the history, like to study arts, they like to know why, they like to have discoveries. So if you are trying to influence this sort of person, make sure you do your homework. This type of years where the second region or the middle region is a bit more well developed as these ones, these are the ones that like to do hands-on stuff, okay? They like to explore with the hands. For example, exploration through action is like diving, for example. You gotta go into the ocean to do exploration, right? If the middle region is protruding here, it's through immersion. And of course, if you have a well-developed lobes like this is about pleasures of life, okay? Now, pleasures of life could mean traveling, enjoying, nature, for example. People who love nature or to explore what life has to offer or learn everything about, what the earth has to offer. And that will be the bottom region of the years, more well-defined and developed. If the set of years is not the same, left and right is not the same, it indicates that the person might have a very or rather challenging childhood. So the moment it is different between left and right, usually they have some changes in terms of family life between that age. So there's a lot to learn about just the years, but now you know how to see a good set of years. A good set of years is one that is fleshy, one that is usually a bit larger, one that is sticking to the head and not so much, the top protrusion. Now, some people are confused between top protrusion and a whole ear's cupping up. Okay, if the whole ear's cupping up slightly, that is not a protrusion. That just means the lower ears is large and outward facing. If the top is protruding, it's just the top part, that is called a protrusion in the ears when it comes to face reading. When it protrudes, the Chinese say 中意出風頭, that means like to gain respect, okay, or like to show off, right, or a bit pretentious. That's what it means. So when it comes to the eyebrows, this is one of the things that much later in my career in Chinese metaphysics that I truly discovered its true interpretation of the eyebrows. Because I was told by my teacher back, I think 20 plus years ago when I was learning face reading, you see, eyebrows, 係講個性, it's talking about character, okay, it's talking about character. But then when you look at the Chinese text of the eyebrows, it says 保守官. 保守官 can means insurance officer or maybe life extension officer. So like, how can life extension officer has got something to do with character? Actually, they're both right. Why? Because I truly discovered now how to articulate the true meaning of the eyebrow, and I see this in a lot of people that I work with. Here's the key word. When it comes to eyebrows, it represents temperance. And temperance basically governs forgiveness and mercy and modesty and humility. And more importantly, it represents self-regulation. Think about it. If your character, right, eyebrows represents your,個性, your character, your nature is basically you're temperamental, you're angry all the time, you like to beat things up and, punch the wall and stuff, beat up everyone that you see. Well, that isn't really good for your health in general, and in the long run, you probably don't live that long, right? So if you look at people who are very at peace with themselves, who are in control of their emotions, who have humility, and those who truly understand that they are enough, that means these are the people that live longer, and that fits into the criteria of this thing called 保守官, means the ability to extend one's life. And true enough, one of the longevity features is also seen from the eyebrows, okay? So I will explain more of this in the upcoming lesson when we talk about one of the factors is about health, okay? But for now, what does the eyebrows tell us about a person's character? Well, since it represents temperance, it represents, modesty, it represents humility. Humility is one of the, I think, one of the most important factors or virtues that are even more important than courage, okay? Because humility allows us to see our mistakes, allows us to understand, when we are wrong, and allows us to improve. Growth is one of the most important things in life, right? If you don't grow, we start to die. So how do you grow? We only can grow if we learn from our mistakes. The only way to learn from our mistakes is to have humility to understand that, hey, we're doing things wrong. This doesn't work out. It's time to change our strategy or change the way we do something. The eyebrow hair that is neat and tidy usually represents a person's character that is clear and normally has clarity. And having clarity means one is able to have clear vision of what they want and being able to see their own mistakes and being able to correct and rectify them. This is a set of thick eyebrows, but the roots are unseen. And below here is a set of thick eyebrows where the roots can be seen. Thick eyebrows where roots cannot be seen is someone who is clouded, confused, or consumed by one's own ego. Generally, a thicker set of eyebrows represents someone who's more bold, more sort of a gentle or thinner set of eyebrows. Doesn't mean someone has lack of courage. It just shows that someone who is more subtle, okay, and more tactful. Now, if the eyebrows, sometimes you have almost like pale, it also represents maybe lack of boldness. Probably this is someone that doesn't like to be in the center of attention all the time. Okay, there are a lot of exceptions to this. What you don't like to see is messy eyebrows, like this. If the eyebrows are messy, it indicates someone who has lack of clarity. There's one thing about learning this and actually experiencing it in your own life, and when you experience it, you truly understood the lessons, as they say. I'm going to tell you about it shortly, but remember this: messy eyebrows, messy mind. Remember that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about the nose. Now, the nose is called Chief Justice. It's called Sampun Kun. In Chinese, it represents, well, Chief Justice, ability to judge. So in English, it basically means the ability to judge fairness and also leadership, because leadership requires fairness, honesty, and more importantly, integrity. You know, when you want to hire someone or work together with someone, you got to learn from one of the best business minds in the world. And the best business mind in the world, one of them is Warren Buffett. And he said this, he always looked for three things in people. The first one is integrity, the second is energy, the third is talent. If you don't have the first item, which is integrity, the other two will kill you, right? Imagine someone with a lot of intelligence and a lot of energy but have no integrity will cause you havoc. You have someone like that run your company, it will drive your business down and basically steal your business. So integrity is the number one principle. And I find that amongst my friends in the business circle, those who are very, very successful, you know, nowadays they don't run their business anymore, but they do hire people, and this is also one of the key things that they look for. Now, as I said earlier on, some of them will have unconscious competence to be able to, you know, size up somebody. But along the way, over the years, because when they start out in business, probably they were in their teens or early 20s, now they are almost in their 70s. Of course, they are able to see patterns. And you want to speed that up, then you learn face reading, right? So how do you see integrity? You look at the nose. That's why the ancient text says this, 鼻有三彎，其人必奸；鼻頭冇肉，心好毒. In English, it means if the nose is bony and crooked, this person is cunning and vicious. Okay, remember this verse in Chinese, it says 鼻頭冇肉，心好毒. It means when the person has got no fleshiness on the nose, the heart is poisonous. Okay, so if a person has a very nice fleshy nose, and the nose includes the bridge of the nose, so you gotta look at this. This is called the bridge of the nose. The bridge of the nose is fleshy and is tall all the way to this position right here. This is called the mountain roots or sankan in Chinese face reading. That is between the eyes all the way, very balanced like the bridge. There's no knots on the nose, fleshy. That means it's quite kind-hearted. That means the ability to have integrity, or at least according to this person, principles, is generally a good person. Okay, so always look at the nose. So the nose tells you a lot about that person, what they do when no one is looking. So think about it. These are the 5 officers or the 5 important features when it comes to face reading. So when you use these features, you got to train yourself to look at these 5 things. When you train yourself to take note, you don't have to look at the entire face and, you know, keep looking at moles and stuff. Listen, moles are just maybe 5% of the entire face reading study. The most important thing are the big features. We always look at someone's eyes when we are communicating. We always listen to what the mouth is trying to communicate, right? So look at the mouth, listen with your ears. So observe someone's ears. Remember the 5 features. And if you want to see integrity, study the shape of the nose. So if you understand any of these 5 or all of these 5, you should be able to turn your unconscious competence to conscious competence on being able to judge or understand somebody.
Face reading will help a lot in order to, you know, when we have a job application and we have to interview people. So it's like a first tool to look at people, like, you know, their competency in what, and you know, in what field and stuff like that. So as Dato said, when we look at the resume, I mean, people, you know, talk about it, and when we interview, we don't really know the fact, but face may reveal something about that person. So I think it would be useful for me in the future in order to recruit people to work for us.
To read people before you get to know them, you can look out for, you know, conflicting type of people. You can recognize if you'll get along with that person, what to look out for. Prove by example. You would read their face, tell them about themselves, and they would say, how do you know that? And you tell them what you learned here and how it pertains, how you can use it in actual life. I feel like there's more fluid, it's more natural. It's not like reading out of a textbook where, you know, you run down the bullet points and that's it.
Now that you've learned the 5 officers or the 5 main features of the face, let me give you a little bit more context and how you can relate this to your own life. You see, I went from just scratching the surface, learning about face reading, to deep diving into the subject and truly mastering this art after I've experienced certain pain and problems in my own life for not following what I've already learned in my metaphysics study. So I want to tell you, in my business life, in my career life, I have two great failures. And these two great failures obviously involve other people. And so there were two, great downfalls or pain that I went through. But today I have the wisdom to understand that this issue needed to happen to teach me an important lesson. As if the first lesson wasn't enough, I have to repeat that lesson the second time, and it was really painful. Now what happened was, I've lost everything that I've made in my business or in my professional life twice, okay? You see, life has certain schools, right? Learning metaphysics, of course, to me, I paid a lot of money in my education, going to various teachers and all, but it's not as expensive as the University of Life. Now, like all universities have courses. If you fail in any course in university, you probably need to retake that course. And of course, you need to repay the course fees, right? So apparently I joined the University of Life and paid a really expensive course fee, and now I've passed that course and graduated from the University of Life, and therefore I don't make that mistake anymore. So all these two involve, the management of money. The business partners that I work with both have very bad eyebrows, okay, but different type of eyebrows. The first one, the gentleman has really, really long eyebrows, long life, but very messy, okay? So the problem is, in the first lesson is, I have a business mentor friend whom I meet regularly, and I ask him, hey, I joined into this partnership with this old gentleman. I think it's a great idea, right? So that experienced business mentor of mine told me, I don't know much about your face reading and astrology, but my business instincts tell me that you need to put whatever you have mentioned just now on paper. I got to put it on a contract, right? And I said, no, I can't put this on a contract. We are based on trust. I trust him because he's older than me. So at that time, I can see the eyebrows are messy, but I thought, what could be the issue, right? He's a bit messy, so what's the problem? It turns out that this person has very bad memory when it comes to money. So there were a lot of confusions when it comes to how the account should work. So I thought, how do we get out of a situation like that? Even there's no contract, there was no exchange of emails. It's extremely problematic. And when shit hits the fan, as they say, everything was frozen. And the whole thing caused a long time, and no one could touch the accounts, and basically I think both of us have losses. So that's how the story goes. Now, as if I didn't learn the lesson the second time this shit happened again, now the new business partner, this time, again, great buddies, we grew up together, we're great friends, but here, the eyebrows were sparse in the end. Remember, eyebrows represents what? Eyebrows represents temperance, okay? So the eyebrows were sparse in the end. So remember, there's a saying, 眉眉山就在菜蘭. So it means that one cannot collect money and save money. Now, I was looking at face reading, I thought, well, he cannot save money, it's not my problem, right? The problem is, when one party is doing well and the other party is not doing well, and then you have additional people around talking and say, hey, how come so-and-so is doing well, and then you have an issue because your self-image is affected. It affected the entire, dynamics of that business. And of course, I wasn't matured enough to handle this. There were arguments and dispute, and again, stuff or shit happened. So this was the second time. So I have this reboot and start all over again. Those were important lessons, and now I truly understand what the features of the face actually means. What could this reflect in one's character and personality, and how his or her dealings are with other people. So we know that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of the decisions that we make in life. And amongst those decisions, we consciously and or subconsciously decide who we let into our lives. Well, to put this differently, the quality of those relationships and the meanings that they create directly impacts the quality of the lives that we all live. And so we study face reading to decide who we want to let in, to take up a major portion in our sphere of influence, and what to do or what to expect from these people once we allow them to come into our sphere of influence. And who are the important people? Our close friends, for example, our business partners. In my case, they were business partners. And we want as much clarity as possible in both our personal and professional life when it comes to dealing with people. And face reading, the art of face reading, is a tool which you and I can use to predict the outcomes when dealing with these people. As in my own experience, don't just dabble with this, go deeper into this art and actually apply it in your life. It's a tool that actually puts you back in control, because if you know what to expect, you know how to deal with it. It's like going to an exam, but you get to see the exam questions first in life. That's how you feel if you know face reading. I'm sure there are a ton of questions going through on your mind right now. Now, I'm keeping this video short and to the point in the interest of time, but I have good news for you. Go to the link that you see on your screen right now. It's also on the comment section of this video. I've posted a lot more examples and mini lessons in there. So go there and watch all those mini lessons. And don't forget to download the notes. Here are some examples of other big questions that you may have and how face reading can help get answers to. Why aren't people at work helpful to me? How do I get co-workers or subordinates to like me? Who should I trust? Who should I hire? Who should I promote? When will I get promoted? How do I get more customers and sales? How do I become a better leader? How do I become a better partner? And how can I become a better parent? Whether you are a CEO managing thousands of employees, or if you run a small business with key personnel and assistants, or if you have a career where you are constantly interacting with customers, co-workers, and other bosses, face reading is so easy to use because everyone has a face, and every face has a story. Take a moment to reflect right now. If you focus on improving just one of the relationships with the people you have, how would this impact your life right now? If you focus on making it just a little bit better in one of your important connections with people, how would this move your life forward in the next 12 months? Now, some truths are unspoken. In face reading, the name of the game is that the face never lies. You can create your alter ego in social media. You can mask yourself in your professional life. You can even wear a straight or a poker face with those closest to you, but you cannot change the structure of your face. Or can you? The rise of technology has enabled us to do many wonderful things. And for the introverts who are watching this right now, I know this means you're going to be spending a lot of time on Facebook searching other people's photos. I have no problems with you doing that, but what I'd encourage you to really do is to step out of your comfort zone, at least for once. Tag and invite or share this training video with someone that you can practice this with. I promise you, face reading is a lot more fun if you learn it with someone. It's also going to be at least twice as effective if you have a study buddy, okay? So there's a link below that you can click on and share, or just send them this URL that you see in the comment section right now. Now do it before you leave this page. Lastly, please leave me a comment below and let me know you're here. My team and I will be inside the private Face Reading Academy Facebook group, running debriefs, mini lessons, and even live Q&As. I'll see you inside.
Hey, hello guys. Good afternoon, good morning, and also good evening to wherever you are from. All right, all around the world. My name is Kevin here, so I'm the resident consultant with the Joey Yap Consulting Group. So I've published a book under Joey Yap Publishing, which is 八字 Road to Success, and the second book, 八字 Road to Parenthood, is going to come out this year again. So I've appeared in a lot of platforms, including TV like Bernama. I've been on TV3 if you're local, so also on radio station Astro, and a lot of other platforms which shares on feng shui and also property. So today, I would like to welcome everybody to the Face Reading Summit of 2019. Welcome everybody. So face reading to me is something very amazing. So this is one of the skill set that you can apply straight away without permission. right? So if you want to do parts, you need to get somebody's birthday. If you want to do feng shui, you need to basically, know where the house is, then you can do the feng shui. But face reading, you can use it, right? Just on the spot, look at the person, and you can dig out a lot of information that's very, very interesting. And you can apply all those information into how you interact with the person. So the most amazing thing that I find when doing this is that the interaction actually become much more faster, and you spend a little bit more less time in guessing what the other person want. So today we're going to go through a little bit of a additional training here. So I'm going to share with everybody how can we look at locating leaders. So there's a lot of things that you can do when you want to locate a leaders. For us today, I think in the internet world, there is just so many influencers, so many gurus, so many people that we can follow nowadays. But how do you separate all those people out to know that which are the great leader for you to follow? And today's my additional topic for you all is to look at that. But before we start, right, I'd like to do a sound check. Can everybody just type in hi, yes, or hello if the sound is okay? So I do have a tiny screen that I'm looking at to know that what's the response. So can I have a bit of feedback here? Take a look at it. Is the sound okay, guys? Can you hear me clearly? Hi, hi, hi. Hello, I got a lot of hi there. Hello, 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 hi. So many hi. Yes, finally see a lot of yes coming up here. All right, guys. Great, great, great to have all of you here. All right, so some special for you, right? So I do have some books here which I'm supposed to give out as a free gift. So as Datuk Joey has said, after the first training, which is just now, I'm going to give out this book right here and right now. And the question that you're supposed to answer, really answer the question down on the chat, right? So the question that you're supposed to answer is that which is the humanity palace? Which of the feature govern humanity? Right, can I have it loud and clear? That's good. Humanity Palace. First guy who give me the answer, I give you this book here. Shape of Faces. Come on, come on, I'm looking at it. Oh, it's going so fast. Nope. Yay. Oh my goodness. Erica. Erica, just wow. Cannot. All right, Erica, I'll get Farouk to basically give you a PM, right? So you need to answer the PM, right? You need to answer the PM, Erica. Erica, you need to answer the PM. Huh? All right. Look at the sidebar. I don't even know where. You need to search for Erica, right? Okay, Erica, later Farouk will give you a PM. You need to reply his PM, and the book Shape of the Faces is yours. Thank you very much. So later we will go through again. Next book that we're gonna go out is Forehead, Cheek, and also Chin. This is the next one that we will give up. So you need to wait a little while. So we'll go into today's training a little bit. Then we're gonna go for the free gift. Let's take a look at today's training. So how can you find a leaders? So just want to put in the contextualization just now is that I would currently really use this to look at influencer people who are on stage that you want them to inspire you, but you are not really sure if the guy can deliver the inspiration. Those I'll be using that one for. And also in terms of hiring, right? So in terms of hiring, I need to set the floor a bit first. When you are hiring a leader, you need to be really clear that the fella is not going to listen to you. That's what leader is. Leader is supposed to lead you. So if you're trying to hire somebody who is obedient to you, then you need to listen carefully to the explanation of why I picked this few featured as something that is important when you are assessing leaders. All right, so let's take a look at that. So I'm going to go into slide right now. Oops. All right. So we're gonna on the slide right now. So we're gonna look at features that you're gonna look for when you are hiring a leader, looking for a leader, looking for somebody who you want to be inspired by. So the first criteria that I would usually look for is how big is the person processing power, or you look at it as a critical thinking capacity. So when you're looking at how well the person process, how big is his processor capacity, is going to be the forehead. So there's going to be two things that we want to look at. One is the how tall the forehead is. The other one is how wide the forehead is. So the tall or short of the forehead basically will determine how deep the person will think about that particular topic. So if you pass a topic to a person, whether the person will go deep, it will go layer, will basically penetrate the entire subject or not, then you need to look at how tall the entire forehead is. Second thing is that you look at the wideness of the forehead. So the wideness of the forehead basically talk about how spread or how wide the person would actually think. So you put it in a way you think about it, right? So if you give a singular topic to a person which have a tall forehead, right, they will dig very, very deep into the entire topic. So they will give you a lot of insight and a lot of experience that they have, and maybe areas that you have not been looking at. Yes.
Reset the screen.
Reset the screen. Oh, blank screen. How to reset? Sorry guys, hang on a while. Screen is blank. Right. We're gonna reset. All right, we're gonna reset the screen for a while. Sorry guys. Oh, still blank screen. Apology for the technicality, guys. All right, so we are back at the forehead. So just now we're talking about the forehead portion of it, which cover your thinking capacity. So two things that we want to look at: how tall is the forehead and how wide is the forehead. So the tallness of the forehead will tell you how deep the person will think about the particular topic. The wide of the forehead will tell you that how wide the fella is thinking about a particular forehead. So let's talk about wideness of the forehead first. If you give the person a topic to a person with a wide forehead, he will not only look at that particular topic, he will go and search for other angles, maybe other topic that is related to the particular topic that you're giving it. So he will open up the entire option. So he will look at different places. So this gives you a lot of places that you can take a look at, and that give the entire topic more richness when you're looking at it. Whereas a tall forehead person, he will go deep and try to penetrate the topic that you basically give that particular person. So these two combined together, you will basically find a person that will think fairly quite a lot when you give them a problem, or when you basically give them a topic to think about. So you do need leaders who have this sort of critical thinking capacity, so that they don't just take in opinion of other people without putting a lot of due diligence into processing the entire system. So let's say, for example, if you're looking for a professor for your thesis, to guide you for your thesis, I would look for a tall forehead professor. Right? Because why? When you are doing a thesis, you are basically targeting on one singular topic. And when you're targeting on one singular topic, you want the topic to go deep. You want your research to basically go deep. So you want a professor that basically have a tall forehead. If you give it to a professor with a very high forehead, what happens here? The professor might point you to different direction. So if you are still looking for a topic to write about in your thesis, then that is great. But if you have decided on the topic already, the professor with the wide forehead will probably point you to different places for you to take a look at. That might confuse you a little bit. But either way, critical thinking is required for you to choose for a great leaders. So that's one criteria that you can take a look at. So forehead, very easy for you to zoom in. So you take a look at the forehead. So the next one that we want to take a look at is basically how compassionate a leader is. For today, I think we need leaders that are more compassionate. So the one that you want to look at is basically on the eye. In particularly is the iris, which is the black color part of it, or you call it the pupil. How big or how small the iris is. The bigger the iris, the more information actually reach the eyes. So which means that this person put it in a way they can overlook, or they can basically look wider in terms of whatever topic that you give to the person. So the smaller the iris, the less information basically reach the person. So it has the risk of a person when they have a very small iris is that they are very targeted when they are looking at things. So we sometimes call it vengeful. So when something happened, they just lock on to the small thing, or if you have done a lot of things, they may overlook the good thing that you have done and just keep on locking on that one particular mistake or that one particular bad thing that you have done. Whereas for somebody with a larger iris, they will encompass a lot of other information into their consideration, and hence it gives you the entire impression of having a more compassionate person. So this is really, really important in today's time and today's time frame right now. I think we need more compassion inside the world right now. So we are grew up from what we call an exam-based education. So a lot of time we judge people on right and wrong. It's very difficult to go into a world where you and I know that it is all gray all around us. So for a person with a larger iris, they got more compassion. They will look at more angle. They will look at more information that come to them before they actually pass a judgment. So if you're looking for a boss, you're looking for somebody to follow, somebody good for you to have, that will provide you with the guidance and having good compassion to help you out. Look for somebody with a larger iris. That would be something that I would personally look for. So this is also quite easy for you to look at. And eyes is the window to the soul, and that would be one thing that you would put a lot of emphasis into looking at, right? So that's one second tips I'm going to give you for compassion. And the next one that you want to look for is how strong is the person's character is. This is really, really important when you're looking for leader, because if you're a leader and you're not making decision, that's a little bit of a problem. So you can see, right, the first one when we talk about is about how big the processor is. So even with a very strong processor, with a very critical thinking person, that's just thinking, you got a lot of idea, a lot of thinking, you're still not doing anything yet. Even with compassion also, it's the same, you have different point of view, you take in the other person's situation, you are compassionate about it, but you are still not doing anything. So the cheekbone itself is the one that give you the determination, the strong character, whether the person can hold the ground or whether the person cannot hold the ground. That would be the one that you look at. So you look at particularly the cheekbone. The cheekbone is supposed to be defined, and it is supposed to be covered meaty. All right, so that is a very good cheekbone. So you take a look at it, have a look at the cheekbone. For those that you take a look at it, they don't have a cheekbone. Here's the thing. It is not that they are not good leader, but when it comes to really putting the foot down and making a big decision, they are the type that would look at other people first. They want to collate some information. They want to see that would they be offending someone by putting their foot down. So the entire process right now, if you put in to define a good leader, the good leader is supposed to lead you. In our impression, they are the one that's supposed to know better. They are the ones supposed to know best. So somebody with a defined strong cheekbone will basically give you the decision much faster and give you the decision much stronger, and more importantly, they stand firm on what they have decided, and this is what you want from a leader. You don't want to follow somebody halfway down the road and then they decide that to do a 180-degree turn on the decision and walk you back to the starting line. That wouldn't be something that's fun for you to play with. So that would be the third one that I will be look for, is a strong character which will drive into action. So that's a very important part of it. Then the next part that I would definitely go and look for right now, which is called a public magnetism. Can this person hold an audience? When the person come up and talk about it, can he drive an audience? Can he basically make the people move? So this one we look at the laughter line. All right, the laughter line basically tells you about how influential you are when you are out in the public, when you are talking to people. The more defined the laughter line, the better it is. So if you look at a lot of the world leader, their laughter line are all very, very strong. So that's why they are a very strong world leader, and when they talk, people listen. And this is very important. So again, if we roll back right now, a person who can critically think still are not taking any decision, but you have a lot of information, know how to arrange information in a good manner. So then the person is compassionate. So he will look beyond and also look from your point of view. Great. Then the person has a strong will. The person know how to take action. So now you have a good making of a leader that can show you. No, internally he can already show you how to get things done. Now the next point right now, can you convince other people or not? No, you are strong is one thing, but if you cannot convince a following to go together with you, your power will be limited. So this is where the laughter line come in. So another layer that you want to basically put in to know that, can this person drive a crowd? Can he convince a crowd to move? And the next one, which is the last one that we're going to look at, just now we look at eyebrow. So the eyebrow have a lot to do with relationship building. So the eyebrow in face reading, it does tells you about your relationship with your siblings or peers. How do you interact with your siblings and peers? So for us today, it is basically team building, relationship building. So we are looking at how organized is the eyebrow is. So if your eyebrow are all organized, going one direction in a smooth way, it does tells you that this person, in terms of dealing with relationship, have very strong clarity. They know how to basically deal with relationship. And then on the other side, we have those which have very unorganized eyebrow, some pointing this direction, some pointing the other direction, which means they have very, very messy relationship. It does show that they may have, what we call double standard, maybe triple standard when it comes to relationship. Person A, person B, I treat you this way. Person C, D, E, F, I will treat you in a different manner. So as you can see, if you put all of this together, you will find that a person that can critically think, which means quite smart, know how to look at different angle, then is compassionate enough to stand from your point of view to look at the situation, strong enough of a view to stand on his own principle, to have his own thinking, to run it against other people if required, and then he have the strongness to basically speak to other people and convince other people to move in the direction that is required by them. And lastly, you know how to organize the relationship in a very nice manner, that know how to put people together and move as a group of people or as a unity of one group. So you can see, if you can put all these 5 together, you would find a fairly functional leader, or a person that is fairly functional in terms of, you want to look up to, you want to basically follow this person. So these are the 5 features that I would personally look for if I'm looking for somebody to follow. So these are some of the tips that you can also follow if you want to take a look at how you can follow somebody. So of course, if you can have all 5 of them together, it would be great. But let's say that, if it's really critical, you only need 1 or 2, that, what is the position you are trying to fill for this person. If let's say that you just want a PR leader, somebody, just to handle the public relation, to lead the public relations side, I would personally feel that I would be choosing somebody with a good laughter line, right? Because public relation, you need to talk to people. So if let's say that you want to have somebody who is really great in HR, eyebrow will be something that we'll be looking at. So those are the one that we want to take a look at, right? Can switch. How? Oh, okay. All right, get back to the screen. Hey, hi guys, I'm back again. So back to a little bit of just now. So you need to do a little bit of a customization for yourself. Of course, if you can find one guy with, you know, all the 5 together, then it would be great. If not, really, you look at your situation, what do you need? And then you just pick 1 or 2. Let's not be too what we call stubborn with the criteria. You know, if you can get 3 out of 5, I would say that, you know, it is already a very great pick already. All right, cool. So what we have here right now is I'm going to give out this, right? I'm going to give out this. So this is for those of you who, you know, managed to watch the front portion of it when Dato was saying. So tell me, guys or girl, who tell more lies? Guys or girl, who tell more lies? Come on. Right, guys, waiting for your answer. Guys or girls, 50-50 chance. Come on, guys or girls, who's gonna get it? Guys or girl, who tells more lies? Man, so I got Turanko Junior JJ. Is it Turanko JJ? Right. Disappeared. Okay, I got Turanko JJ there. All right. That special answer is guys. So guys will tell twice as more lies than women would ever. Okay. All right, so guys, woo, that's fun. It's really fun looking at the screen going up. So guys win. All right, so now I'm gonna go into the last one. All right, so this one is the grand prize. Okay, so it is a audio for the Day Master series. So it's the audio book for this audio ebook and audio series and ebooks. All right, so we'll be giving this. So this will base on. Take some question. All right. All right, okay, guys. Because the screen is like flying so fast, right? I will take some question here. I need you to retype the question because there's no way for me to, you know, no way for it. It depends. Can't. All right, come. Let's take some question here, right? On face reading, you know. Bump up some question right now, and then I'll answer the question for you guys. Yes. We already have a winner. No need to put in guys anymore. Pick me. Fun. All right, got any question or not on face reading? Right. So looking for a leader. Come. Type in some question for me to take a look at. What short eyebrow mean? Long and short, you really need to take a look at. Now, short eyebrow mean that the person temperament is very short, really very short temperament, easily explode, right? So those are short eyebrow. They are usually a little bit more what we call vicious. Not really called vicious. It's just that, you know, their fuse are very short. So when the eyebrow is very short, the fuse is really short. So if you have short eyebrow people, you know, don't drag conversation. Do not drag. Huh? Impatient would be one word for you to use on it. Do not drag conversation with people with short eyebrow, okay? Right. Aesthetic changes make the change of the character person. Okay. Aesthetic changes, they are. Wait. I don't know where you're going to. But anyway, so he was asking about aesthetic changes. Okay, so here's the thing, right? When you do aesthetic changes, there are 2 types, right? Your facial frame, which is your bone, would usually not change. So your bone feature, so not many people will go and hack the bone. So when you're talking about, you know, Botox, maybe, you know, you go to do a plastic surgery, it doesn't change your frame. Your frame doesn't actually change. So most of the feature would still be the same, but now you are encompassing. So the part when you talk about whether it is flashy or not flashy, that part will basically change. So the information that you can grab from the person would change a little bit, but that doesn't change his characteristic. So it's basically like masking the person characteristic. And in reading, in advanced level of face reading, right, what we try to read is actually the person aura. We call qi se, the qi of the person's face. So this one, whatever sort of aesthetic that you are doing, cannot change that. So that is something that's natural, but that is at an advanced level of reading. Then we will be basically reading your qi level on your face. All right, so if you take a look at it, in general sense, does aesthetic change the person characteristic? It doesn't change the person characteristic. It would just give you a masking effect on the person, right? Okay, so I got let me take a look at it. Okay, so I got a question here. Is Dean asking, what does it mean when one eyebrow is higher than the other eyebrow? Two family. Okay, one eyebrow higher than the other, because again, these are all about in the olden day, this is all about siblings, right? So brother and sister. So when you have two eyebrow, one higher than the other higher eyebrow, you got brother and sister from different family. Okay, so that's what it means. Let's take a look. How would you read yourself based on my eyebrow? What does my eyebrow tell myself? Eyebrow very thick. So eyebrow very thick means that it does tells you that it's messy. It's just put it in a way that I very easily would make a person my buddy. Okay, so that actually create a lot of messy situations. So easily friend with people. That would be one thing. So not very organized means also that I don't really manage the relationship. You put it in a way like, so you want to be my friend, all right, great. If you want to walk off, also great. So those are the things that we basically look at. So in terms of managing whether this is best friend, second class best friend, or normal people, I don't make a big distinction about that. You can move up or down the line anytime you want. So that is how perception is if you take a look at the eyebrow. Okay, what else do we have? What everybody is asking about eyebrow on here, nothing else. Okay, there's a lot of question here about mole. So I don't know if you have a module about mole down the road. Yeah, coming soon. We have about mole. Then only we will basically cover on the mole. Again. Some typing Chinese guy. Very sorry, I can't read Chinese, guys. Yes, I look like a Chinese, all right, but I can't read Chinese. Okay, all right, there's a question on Okay. I'm missing the name.
448 for bald guy.
Okay, so now you do need to know where the hairline is. It's actually from the hairline. I know the guy's bald. Okay, so the portion whereby it is connecting or reclining side of it, that's where the basically is. So yeah, the scalp side of it. So tall or is it big or small? Really tall or deep is using finger. So like mine is basically 3 fingers. If you take a look at it. All right, so this is 3 finger. So if you want to squeeze it, maybe the 4th can go in, but it's unfair. I will call myself 3. Right, so 4 finger is a good level of depth. 5 is too much. So when you have too much, the fella basically thinks a lot. So it is not that it is bad, but if you give him an information, normally maybe one day you should get an answer. That person might give you back in about 3 days. So you need to take a look at it. Do you need somebody to think so much? But you do need thinking capacity. So if a forehead is too short, then what happened here is that the person basically is maybe too lazy, or is too pressuring for him to think too much, and you will rush the entire thinking process. All right, Dean, again, I take a look at it. Look like only yours one is not jumping. So what does it mean by high cheekbone with sunken cheek?
High cheekbone. Somebody was asking. Show a picture.
Okay, so this is a picture of a strong cheekbone, right? And look at that. It's very strong, high cheekbone, very strong. So, he's our national badminton champion.
National treasure.
Still champion, right? So, very, very high. When your cheekbone is too high, right? The draw for having power is much higher. Okay, so want to win at all costs. So again, depending on what industry you're in, like if you are in sports, you're in Olympic, that's good. If you are in war, you're a soldier, that's good, right? But if you, let's say that you are a common folk, dealing with normal people, not really too good. Okay, so those are the one that you want to take a look at. So a lot of time when you process the information, please keep in mind that there are no absolute answer. You need to take that particular feature and put it into a real life situation and think about it first. Some of the features are required in certain situations. Really, if you are in a time of war, time whereby it is in what you call a crisis, right? You cannot negotiate with people. Like, for example, if you are having a fire, like yesterday I was in session in Singapore, was having a bit of a issue with the alarm. You cannot go into a place and have a very compassionate talk with the other person about, yes, your cat is missing, don't know where it's running to, we may want to go and find the cat. This type of compassionate thing cannot work in a fire crisis situation. You need to basically drag the person out of the place. So you need somebody who is really strong, probably not very compassionate to, get the thing done. So you have to look at the situation.
So a lot of people asking about the ears, different height, eyes, different size. That's episode 3 tomorrow.
Okay, so you are looking at, a lot of people is asking about, so anything that come in a pair, talk about relationship, really. Anything that come in a pair, talk about relationship. So when you have a pair that is not balanced, relationship have issues. So later, when we go through something called the 100-year facial map, you would know that, left and right basically are different ages for you, and when you go to different ages, the height is different. So you know that there's going to be change in your relationship during those changes. So anything that's imbalanced, so including your face also. So don't be surprised that left hand side face and right hand side face is actually not symmetrical. Do not be surprised by that. Okay, Joycelyn.
Last 3 questions.
Last 3 questions. So I have a Joycelyn here, got a very long question. Have a friend who do plastic surgery over her nose to change her luck. 3 months after she did it, she managed to find a boyfriend and get married in 1 year. Whether plastic surgery can change a person luck, not necessary lah. I will first look at her puzzle chart first. That could probably be the crossing of her her luck pillar, or she just went into a year whereby it helps with that. So we look at the puzzle chart first for this sort of stuff. Okay. A lot of people is very interested in aesthetic surgery lah. I read a lot of Botox around. Okay, Aurora, if a person have health problem affected the eye, will it affect the reading? This look like a legitimate ophthalmology question. If your eye got problem, would it affect the reading? Or if you are looking at it, let me just change pattern. The reading, how do we read the situation? Yes, the eye or your face are connected to your internal organ. So we is able to look at your facial feature, especially the eyes, to detect if there's any organ issue, to take a look at it. Like, for example, if your eye starting to turn yellowish, your liver would have issued. If there are blue color ring coming out of your eye, your heart would have issued. So those are the things that we can take a look at the eye, but put it in a way that I am not really very good at looking at medical things. So some of it I will take a look at it, but most of the time I would just use face reading to capture the person's characteristics so that I know how to trigger the person. Okay, so last question. Take a look at last question. I'm going to give out the gift already. So okay, what is the word? Helen C. What is the meaning of big fatty earlobe? Big fatty earlobe. The earlobe is like me. I got no earlobe. So earlobe basically is enjoyment. People who have very big fatty earlobe, basically they know how to enjoy themselves. So their life most of the time got no worry, well taken care of by people. So well provided by people. So most of the time their mother would treat them really well. You can classify them as semi-spoiled. So they have not went through a lot of hardship. So that's why when you take a look at it, people who are well taken care of, their earlobes is really, really great. And if you have very defined, nice earlobe, right, work more with women. Work more with women. So women will basically take care of you much more better than guys would ever do. So take that approach. So you will see really great earlobe, work more with women. So I'm going to give this off. All right. So we're going to base it on my session. So take a look at that. So if you are going to look for somebody who is compassion, where do you look for? Which are the part that you look for? Right? Compassion, right? A compassionate leader. What would you be looking for? Which part of it would you be looking for to find a compassionate leader? Right? Come on, guys. Quick. Me. Why me? You need to give me an answer. Don't give me an E. Yes, I got Keith Wong. Keith Wong have the answer. I'm looking for either eye, iris, or pupil also can. So Keith Wong as give me the first answer, which is yay! Yep. So for the 3 winners, so please answer the PM so that we can get your detail and send out the information and also your gift to you, right? So 1, oops, 2 and 3, oops. All right, guys. Now, thank you for the session. So we're going to look at it for tomorrow. All right. So tomorrow, we're going to have another session, same time, same place. So we're going to have Nancy, right? Is it Nancy tomorrow? Nancy, all right. So we're going to have Nancy tomorrow. So Nancy is a really, really big expert when you talk about relationship. She is our residential relationship expert. So, tomorrow you want to find about relationship, you're looking at a partner, I think looking at a partner would be the best and the must for you when you go out to dating, right? When you're sitting there looking at the other party, right? What else can you do, right? Please don't interrogate your other part. So what you do right now is that you can apply all this skill set that you have right now, looking at the guy and start probing, right? Don't interrogate, probing. So you take a look at this person, when I look at the eyebrow, right? A bit messy. Maybe I want to ask about his, family, brother, sister, things like that. You do those type of things, it's going to be really, really very intriguing to yourself, and you'll find a lot of nice, amazing answer. So again, right, same thing, you look at high forehead, maybe I want to put in a topic that, to see how deep the person will talk about the topic. These are all very interesting conversation point that you can do during a dating process. So again, tomorrow Nancy will basically teach you how to have a great conversation on when you are looking for partner, when you're looking for your relationship. So Nancy is the go-to person when we come to relationship. All right, so guys, anything else from the floor? Anything else? That's it. All right, guys, enjoy. I have a very happy session with all of you. Great again. So I will be back again on day 6, and we'll talk about on the spot application of face reading. So things that you can just go out to the street and straight away use to identify who is who, what is what. So those are the things we're going to talk about on day 6. So see you all again. Good night. Bye, guys. Whoops.